Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Channel. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Freitag. Freitag. For those of you that speak Italian, it's Friday, February 17th. How's it going, guys? Does my head fit in here? Am I centered? Who knows? We'll just run with it, right? Appreciate you guys joining me. I'm here every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And it's freaking cold here in Ohio. Go figure. We had like 70 degrees this week, and then Friday, the weekend hits, right? You're ready to let it rip, and then it's freezing again. So I was going to go out and get some miles in this weekend, but I guess I'm going to have to go do it, freezing my cojones off. And if you're not familiar with cojones, that's Chinese for balls. All right. That's my bad humor. Appreciate you guys joining me. If you're new here, please post up your questions. Post up as many questions as you want. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. And I have a Cal Ripken streak going. I haven't had to get up and pee during the live in 4,000 games. So let the questions rip. No dumb questions, no stupid questions, just awkward questions, weird questions, and sometimes some socially awkward questions. Tomorrow I got an interview with Dr. Mike, and check that out. It's going to release 11, something like that. Just a reminder, if you post a question before live starts every week, you get a chance to win a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a massive whey protein. So if your questions don't post up, please try them again. It's not me throttling you. It's not me censoring you. It's not me blocking you, anything like that. YouTube can be really funny. Try rewording your post. Try rewording your post, or simply, if that doesn't work, you can head over to Instagram, @BenTheBarman. Wrong way. @BenTheBarman, and slide into my DM. You can ask me questions there anytime. I answer every question eventually, not always immediately the same day. I get to them when I can, but I'll always answer your questions. So just keep that in mind. Before we get started, a few things. Team Massive is freaking rocking. My goal this year was to have a good community and get back to community, right? I got so tired of Facebook and nasty hate social media during the pandemic that I decided to start my own community. This isn't a Facebook group. This is an actual website, teammassiveiron.com. teammassiveiron.com. Let me put it up there. Now, put it up there. Hold on. teammassiveiron.com. You can either pay a one-time fee to get in, or you can pay monthly and decide if you want to peek at it. It's only $9.99. Now, if you consider that expensive, there's tons of benefits. I'm not going to try to sell you on it. Either you want to come over or you don't. It's a solid community. There's no trolls. There's no bullshit. You can get form checks every week from me. You can get up to 4 form checks. There's an Ask BHUD section. You can ask me questions every day. We keep training logs. We keep general chatter. We have topic of the days. We have all kinds of things going on. Daily polls, daily interactions. And it's growing every day. So, look. Here's what I want you to do. Today is fuck Hulu day, right? Fuck Hulu. Fuck Disney Plus. Fuck Paramount Plus, right? Delete one of those subscriptions and join teammassiveiron.com. Just give it a month. Give it a month, test it out. And I pay like $150 a month to keep the server up. So it's not like I'm making fat Heisenberg stacks on this, right? The gatekeeping is to keep the riffraff out, to keep it private, and to support costs, on keeping the website up. Again, it's $150 a month. So if you want to just check it out, That's all I have to say. Please at least check it out. And coaching's pretty much full. I did have one person drop this week. If you're interested in coaching, you can head over to superlivingtoday.com. I have one person that's so busy with work, they really haven't been checking in for like 2 months, and they just decided to give coaching a break. You can head over there to the coaching chat tab here, and there's a form you can fill out. Let me know if you have any questions. Massive Fitness Equipment. We're almost done with the commercials. Then we'll get into your questions. TheMassiveFitness.com. I have an equipment company, and I worked my ass off to make this at least as good, if not better, than all the competition. I don't have a huge selection. I have racks, I have bars, and I have benches for right now. But please check that out. It's a pre-order. They should be in a week, and we'll start shipping them out. I still have some stuff left, and that's about it. Let's stop with the commercials. Let's get in with the stuff. Hope you guys had a good week. I am 2 weeks into a cut, 1,800 calories and rocking. Let's get into things. Timothy Lim was first. Timothy, welcome aboard. You beat me to it, Tim, this morning. Tim says, I just want to say that I'll never regret joining Team Massive. The community there is just so much more positive than you'll find elsewhere on the internet. Thank you, and I appreciate you joining. Tim's a new member, and I'm glad to have him on board. And totally positive community. The most irritating person on the community is me, right? So that's because I'm just a grumpy old big, hairy, ugly dude. Not really. It's a good community. Thank you, Timothy. Do you recommend teens bulk cut? No. I recommend teens. Feel free to disagree with me, but a teen is still going through growth phases. I believe there's something like growth plates and stuff like that. And I don't want a teen cutting their calories. If anything, a teen needs to eat until satiety, but focus on good food choices, right? Improving their diet, just cutting out the sugar drinks, cutting out sugar, eating the good stuff. And if you eat plenty of good stuff and eat until you're full, you're going to build a lot of muscle, and you should be all right. But I don't want anyone 18 or anyone under 18 to do bulk and cut. I just want them to train. Once you're over 18, then you can do whatever the heck you want. I'm a dad. Let's go. Thanks for joining in. Morning Massive Mammals, and welcome, Tim. If wanting to add a set to an exercise you enjoy, how would you do that? Just add a set. For example, seated pin press is done with twos. For those of you keeping score at home, 2 is a first set where you're aiming for about 6, 7, 8 reps. When you hit 7 or more, then you add 5 pounds the next time. And then you have a back down set minus 10%. Or you have the 10 RG, 12 RG, which is a different progression. So the twos and the 10, 12 RG are 2 different progression approaches. Just understand that. But if you're doing 2s, I would probably do 3s, which is a main set, and then 2 back down sets for dropping 10% each. A three set progression on the 10, 12 RG. Basically, what that means is you do 10 reps, and then on the last set, you do max safe reps. And when you hit 12 or more, then you add weight. Does that make sense? So if you do 2 sets on the 10, 12 RG, the first set is 10 reps. The second set, you push for max safe reps. And when you hit 12 or more, you add weight the next week. For 3 sets, it's just 10, 10, and 12. Does that make sense? Sandro, does getting massive help in fist fights? Being strong certainly helps. Being big certainly helps ward off a lot of foolishness. I'll tell you that much. And being strong has its benefits in fights. It depends, obviously, on who you're up against. So I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. But occasionally, if somebody pushes my buttons, I might be a fighter. All right, Rico. Good morning, afternoon. Let's get massive. Thanks, Rico. Thanks for joining in. Zach, how did you feel mentally after you lost all the weight and gained your strength back? really good, because even though when I went from 346 to 238 in weight, I didn't really look great at the end, right? Um, I was lifting, but I had a lot of transitioning going in my life. I was moving to South Carolina. I was getting a divorce. I was lifting, but I wasn't lifting super focused. So when I landed in South Carolina and started lifting again, I gained back some muscle that I lost just from inefficient, crappy, subpar training over the course of like a year. And the strength started to come back pretty decently. I remember in my early days in South Carolina, being able to get on 315 on bench again, and then being able to squat 405 again. And then from there, I got a basement gym in Ohio, and I really started to dig in, and it felt good to get my strength back. Now, I got my strength back on bench and deadlifts, but squats suffered a little bit. I don't think I'm a natural squatter. I struggled to get past 560 after the weight loss. Patrick, due to previous non-lifting shoulder injury, I can't press with an appreciable loading volume above 30-degree incline. Would you recommend front raises? No. We want to target our front raises are going to get enough on flat benching, so you don't need to add in any front delt work. No one ever needs to add in any front delt work unless they have some rare medical condition. If you have a shoulder issue, you need to find exercises you can do that target the side delts. Stein, how's it going? Stein, welcome to the party. 3 days grace. Looking forward to the interview with Dr. Mike. Is Sean coming anytime soon? I messaged a few times with Sean this week. No big deal. We are, I wouldn't say we're friends. We interact occasionally, rarely, a couple times a year. Very cordial. A lot of respect. And I've asked Sean once before to come on. And I'm going to be doing a 10 exercises video. If I had to start all over again, what exercises would I do? And I'm going to tag Sean. I'm going to tag to do a video. He probably won't, but I'll have you guys pressure him. And I'm going to tag James Tiny Vest. And here, you wait for it. And I'm not going to tag Ron Humiston. I'm going to tag Greg Doucette. All right, let's see if we can get Greg Doucette to talk about lifting, just for fun. Amanda P. How to troubleshoot why I'm stuck at certain weight and can't progress in dumbbell bench. Amanda, the first thing we need to look at is nutrition. Are you consistent with nutrition? Are you consistent with protein? And I need to know, like, what are you dumbbell pressing right now? And I would need to know the numbers. I like to look at numbers over the course of the last year, 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, to see if there is some progression, if it's just slow or if it's dead in the water. So you want to look at the numbers and you want to have an honest assessment. Am I adding reps? Am I truly stuck, like not adding any reps for 6 months? So there's two things we need to look at first. Am I adding reps, and is there a trajectory that's moving up? And am I just impatient or being unrealistic about progress, intermediate grind progress? And how's my nutrition? Women don't tend to bulk. And if you're serious about adding muscle and serious about adding strength, you probably should consider bulking. Now, bulking is a scary word for women. I get it. And you don't have to do the 10-pound bulks. You could do a 6-pound bulk over the course of 3, 4, 5 months and then lose 6 pounds. It's only 6 pounds. We fluctuate that normally during the course of a year anyway. You might as well get refined and use it to your advantage. So, Amanda, if you have any more questions, just hit me up, on DM. But Amanda's been here a long time, and I really want to help Amanda. So just let me know. Nicholas, hey, Steve-O, can Major League games be rigged? I've seen the NFL's rigged videos. They're pretty hilarious. So sometimes I don't know what it's like to be a ref, but you would have to, like, we can't even get the government to orchestrate things well enough to, you know, to look competent. I don't know how you'd orchestrate all those people. You think about your job, right? And how many people are just knuckleheads, right? How many people, if you try to like take 80 people at your job and you try to orchestrate them to do something in a week, like the next game, come on, right? 20% of them be like, what did we just talk about? Right? So good luck with that. I trust your feedback the most. Is it true, or are they lying when people say they can't lose weight? It's not true unless they have a rare medical condition. No, your metabolism can't stop burning calories. Like, if you did, you'd die, right? And the slowing down based on genetics is a lie with age. I think you mean age. It's a lie. What we found out is there was actually a study last year that showed it's nonsense. People move less. And look, it's not that they just move less, but the older you get, the more broke dick you get, right? And it's harder to move sometimes the more you age. So people inherently move less. And I believe between 20 and 50, the average person puts on 15 kilos of weight. So we have that in a factor as well. A lot of lack of sleep, baby stuff, eating like crapola, body feeling like crap. It's not genetics. It's not age. People can do whatever they want. They're just not taking care of themselves. I can, unless it's a extremely fluke, rare medical condition, everybody can lose weight, right? Usually it's a case of, like, in women over 50, I'm going to use this as an example that I've coached. The ones that have come to me tend not to be lifting or moving much. They're desk people, like working at a bank. I had a lady that worked at a bank and she just sat on her butt. I'm not being disrespectful, but like 0 steps, slug mode engaged, like, all day long. And again, not being disrespectful, but she had to eat 1150 calories a day to have a prayer to lose a pound a week. And then she was nibbling on things all day long and not logging it. Right. And it's really easy and relying on fast food. And when you rely on fast food, you're going to have calorie variance. Right. The employee is not measuring things out. They generally don't give a fuck. Right. So, when people are relying on fast food and they don't take control, they're not moving up. No, it's super simple. It is. Getting people to do it's not super simple, but I can put together numbers for anyone on paper. Bob Vila. Hey, Big Bob, how's it going? Regarding self-regulation and prescribed volume, if number of reps on set 2 is lower than the first, that's normal. Should the next set? No, absolutely not. That's normal. You're going to have a decrease in reps from one set to the next. You're not going to perform the same. That's normal. You don't lower the weight or skip it. No way. That's a recipe for disaster. You drive on. You try to improve every set. If you do straight sets, let's say somebody's benching 165 and they don't know where they're at. So they do 3 straight sets, push for max safe reps. And they get 10, and then they get 8, and then they get 5. So with 23 total reps, 10, 8, and 5. So should they lower weight? No, I mean, the average rep is about 8%. So that's reasonable. If it dropped super low, like 7, 5, and 2, then that's not enough volume. Then they should probably drop the weight a little bit. Does that make sense? Quick question. Is getting insomnia from 3 sets of 5 on deadlift? No, it's not normal. Exercise-based insomnia is not normal. I'm no insomnia expert, and I'm not going to pretend to be one. No way. That's out of my lane. I'm just a dumb lifter, right? But I can tell you from my time in coaching and my personal experience, that's not normal. Some people have only one set of deadlifts a week. Is that all some can handle? Some can handle a lot of volume, and some people, quite honestly, need to work on form before they add volume. But I really don't care what people can handle, and I'm not trying to sound argumentative or confrontational. When you give somebody a reasonable program and they feel like it's too much, I don't give a shit, really. You got, I mean, unless they're being punished. I mean, there's things we could drop. 2 sets of deadlifts is fine. If you can't handle 2 sets of deadlifts, you need to just wait until you can. You need to keep attacking because you're just not in good shape. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you just need to keep working and improving until you can. There's nothing wrong with having a bad work capacity, but we can't use it as a reason to quit, right? We can't just use it as a reason to not do more work. That's not a way to bring up our work capacity. Caleb, thanks for taking the time to answer questions. You bet. Thank you for joining in. Thanks for selecting my question last week. I had to email you. If I miss it, Caleb, message me because my email box is like a disaster. And if I don't check it for a day, I can get like 300 emails. It can get completely lost. So how many lifters are on Team Massive? And is it still 99 for life? If you go to the website, it's 99 per life. If you go here and click the Team Massive, it's 99 per life. These lives are harder to catch live with my newborn, so I'll have to check it out later. Joy, what's an exercise you never thought you'd love? Dumbbell kickbacks. Absolutely, man. I used to rail on them all the time. Just used to crack nuts over them, right? Like there's 8,000. Look, there's a lot of better exercises you can do than dumbbell kickbacks. But there's a place for everything. I started doing them during block or burn sets on Power Muscle Block. So they work well. They're super simple to set up. You can do a 2-minute, 3-minute block set. You're good to go. Joy, what's your favorite nourishing meal for gains? My favorite lately is I order from Force of Nature Meats, and I have no horse in this race, no secret affiliation code, no bullshit like that. I just like their products, and they ship fast. I order $200 worth of meat, like every 3 or 4 weeks, and I just got my $200 order in with 16 packs of mince or ground meat. 16. So I don't do that every night. I do it like 2 out of every 3 nights, and I'll eat eggs or egg whites the other third. So it basically lasts me almost a month. Okay. And every now and then I'll have sushi tossed in or something. So for that price, if you think about how many meals you're getting, I get ground bison, I get ground venison, I get ground wild boar, I get ground elk. Pretty lean meats. I love doing that with either rice or instant mashed potatoes. Instant rice or instant mashed potatoes. Super easy. Doesn't take me long to, set up. So I got this great nutrient diversity with these meats, right? Different meat profiles. And mince works really well. Ground beef works really well. I know saying mince is weird. My wife is Australia. I've started saying it more. Ground meat. But you can mix it with rice. You can mix it with instant mashed potatoes. Instant mashed potatoes have potassium, which is great for lifters. So I can salt my mince, my ground beef or my ground bison, excuse me. And I can put it with my potatoes. And not only do I get the nutrients, but I get the sodium and potassium, which is great for blood pressure, which both are vital electrolytes. And then you can dice in your veg, whatever veg you want, mushrooms, a little bit of tomatoes, jalapenos, which I use, onions. You can just put that in there. It goes really well. So that's my favorite base. It's super simple, and look, it tastes good. If you don't like ground meat and rice with your favorite veg, if you don't like ground meat and potatoes with your favorite veg, I don't know, what else, is going to satisfy you. It doesn't feel like cutting diet food, and you don't have to use veggies, right? Like broccoli and cauliflower if you don't want. Expand how you view veggies, right? Jalapenos, onions, green peppers. I like baby bok choy. You can dice it up, super nutrient rich and pretty neutral as far as taste. You can dice your spinach up, just put a little bit in there. They'll kind of disappear. Mushrooms, you can put all kinds of, a little bit of avocado in there if you want. Tomatoes are good. You can get a lot of tasty plant-based choices that aren't, broccoli and cauliflower. Greg, TGIF. Hope there's another great rant clip. I don't want to get into the mindset of trying to, force them. So if they come, they come. This is what I have one of these a day to fill in the gaps, because I'm on a tight calorie budget for my cutting diet. And these things, I have my massive iron protein, but I have one of these a day as well. So, Joy. Are you a reader? I'm a writer and a reader. Writing. Working on this. What else am I working on? I got a book by my bed. Good Night, Midnight. The movie that was on Netflix, the book. Love the book. I'm working on that right now as well. I actually got into this because of writing fiction. I started writing children's fiction. If you go to Amazon and search S. William Shaw, I have 2 children's books self-published there. And you can actually see them right here. The green book, the Sherman Oak and the Magic Potato, and the yellow book is the Santa Mysteries. They're on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, you name it. And I started writing children's books just for fun. I had 2 young daughters, and I wrote them for them. And I started getting into writing and reading. I used to read everything all the time. I was on the road for healthcare for 5 years, and I would do hearing tests. I did a mobile hearing unit. So I would be working 12 to 16-hour days, literally doing hearing tests. So every minute to 2 minutes waiting for people to come in, there's nothing to do. You're in a van in the middle of nowhere. So I'd read. So, man, I love to read. I love to write. I'm a big writer as well. I've written over 1,000 articles on lifting alone. Do you like going to the movies? It really depends on the movie. Some movies I want to, see at the theater. Like when Prometheus came out, I'm a big Aliens fan. But generally these days, it's just easier, to check it out on the Roku. So, but we went to what's the movie with the black folks that were out west with the aliens and whatever in the sky, the thing. We went to see that at the theater. That was all right. Do I need to worry about balancing the volume of upper back work and chest shoulders work? My upper back is about 16. Well, that chest and shoulders are 2 different body parts, so that's going to be about 15 each. That's fine. That's close enough. We don't need to get obsessive about it. That's close enough. That's good enough. Don't forget to smash that like button. Please hit the like button. It's not like it's going to make me $1 million or anything, but the more people I have that I can teach and help, the better. And that's what it's all about for me. This is my life's work. It's not about social clout for me. It's not about building followers. this is my life's work. I'm a 55-year-old man. This is what I was born to do. This is my calling. This is my legacy, and I'm not super rip guy. I'm never going to be super rip guy, but this is what I do 14 hours a day, literally helping clients, answering questions. It's forged in fire. So hit the like button. Who or what inspires you in your career? It's a tough question, man. I don't think it's one person, really. It's not as simple as one person. When I see people doing the right thing, that inspires me. When I see people not making excuses, that inspires me. I think that's a big one. When you do this, when you're in any industry where you're trying to help people, you are met invariably, it's just human nature, with a lot of excuses, right? A lot of excuses. And I am not being critical, and I'm not sitting up on my high horse. I'm not the king on top of the mountain saying I'm better than everybody. That's not what I mean. Anybody that tries to help better people or provide solutions runs into a lot of excuses. And you have to be able to let that slide down your back like water. You can't carry the burden of trying to save people, right? You can't. It's not your job to save people. So you have to learn that lesson. It's not my job to save people. And everybody that comes my way, I want the best for them. I want the absolute best for everybody. I want the absolute best for everybody. But the reality is, in coaching or lifting or anything where you're trying to help people better themselves, is that so many fail. They aren't passionate about it. Maybe there's no passion in general in their life. They're grinding through things, right? They're just grinding through life. They're watching the TV and eating the meals and taking the dumps. And they're just, days are flying off the calendar. And they have dreams, but the dreams just are on the back shelf somewhere, and they're never attacking their dreams, and they never get up and truly grab their sword and grab their shield and just head out into battle. And like, I don't care if I'm going to die. I don't care what the outcome is. I'm going to wade into battle, and I'm going to fucking attack today. I watch this over and over again. People come to me and they don't just fucking sell out, burn the bridge, burn the boat, go to the island, grab your sword, grab your shield. It's just you against the fucking island. Let's go, right? It's go time. Let's go. So the people that inspire me in my life, in my career, are the people that just fucking get after it. It's like, yes, let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's do this, right? Because at the end of the day, when you see somebody do that, when you see somebody just charge in the battle, and you see them just trust their instincts, and you see them just self-reliant, and you see them tracking things, and you see them with passion, and you see them caring, and you see them attacking, and it's not excuse. My dog shit on the rug today. It took me 10 minutes. I couldn't get to the gym. It slowed me down. It threw me off. Every day it's fucking excuses. It's fucking excuses. I'm so tired of excuses. I get tired of excuses. That doesn't mean I don't get up every day in coaching and let them run down my back like water. I do. I let them run down my back like water. But I'm tired of excuses, because when a person sits in front of me, I want the best for them. And when they make excuses, they're already done. What inspires me is somebody that I give them the information, and then you watch them charge in the battle. Do or die. Self-reliance, no excuses. They find a way. They're tracking their nutrition. They're tracking their workouts. They're getting in, and they have a different mindset and a different mentality in the gym. It's wartime, and that doesn't mean they need to train with rage or piss and vinegar or anger or any specific way. But the end results, they charge after the end results, and you can tell the difference. So who inspires me? People that don't just sit on the couch with their dreams on the back shelf. Their dreams just sitting there on the back shelf. What a way to die. Never going after those things that you dream about and spending your days not only making excuses, but being so detached from reality that you don't realize that your excuses are bullshit and you are your own worst enemy. All right, Doc. Arnold press versus regular dumbbell overhead. Pros and cons of each. There's no really pros and cons. I mean, they're two good exercise choices. I do Arnold presses right now. Sometimes I do regular dumbbell overhead presses. The Arnolds, you're going to use a little bit less weight, so it's a little bit easier to get into position. The real negative on a dumbbell overhead press is when you get super strong, it's super hard to get them into position for a seated press. Like when I got up to 100s, 110s, 120s, getting both into position at the same time was harder than the set itself, and that's not exaggeration. Arnold's, I've never really gotten to that point. I think I'm using 60s right now. But when I do Arnold's, I like to do like higher rep work. So it's not really about choosing one over the other. It's there's going to be seasons in your training career. Use them both. There are some people that don't like the Arnold press. And come on, it's a good exercise. There's no severe negative to the Arnold press. No reason you shouldn't ever give it a try. Every exercise stimulates the body differently. And whatever you think of the Arnold press, it's going to stimulate the body a little bit differently. There's no negatives in having a bigger buffet of choices, right? That's only a positive when it comes to lifting. So you could rotate Arnold's and dumbbell overhead press every other week. Or you could have seasons when you're just doing the dumbbell overhead press and then seasons where you use the Arnold press. When making my training, do you assign sets for movement patterns or sets per body part? Both. I mean, when I'm building a workout, I'm so used to building workouts that everything is just part of my DNA. So I look at movement patterns and sets per body part. So on back, for example, I'm aware of sets, but I'm also aware of vertical pulls and horizontal pulls, that sort of thing. So what would you say are the maximum number of sets you would do? If you can do 12 hard sets per body part, that's difficult to do. 12 hard sets. I don't really think most people need more than 12 hard sets. Back is the exception. I like to do 12 hard sets plus deadlifts. Deadlifts are kind of a unicorn lift, meaning they're not 100% a back exercise. They're very much a back, traps, yoke, and whole body exercise, lower back, erectors, everything. But they do have a big impact on the back. So I like to do deads plus 12. After that, if you want to start you can add in sets after that slowly, but you don't want to arbitrarily add them in. Pringle Cake, morning, Steve. For squats, if aiming for 250 by 7 is a warm-up of bar by 6, 95 by 6, that looks all right. That looks fine. That's you're not over repping, doing too many reps, so that looks good. And you're taking slow jumps of about 40 pounds. That's good for warming up your central nervous system. And this is an essential part of proper warm-ups. So that looks fine. Paladin, how long is too long for your weight to stall in a bulk? If it's not moving, we have to look at a graph. So there's no, a week sometimes isn't a good indicator because you can have some weird fluctuations. But once you get to 10 to 14 days, if the scale's not slowly creeping up, you want to start to nudge it just a little bit, 100, 150. We don't have to rush into it, but top tips for mini cut. The big tip is don't fear muscle loss. It's super impossible to lose muscle during a mini cut. People are so over the top with their fear of muscle loss. Even if you could lose muscle, even if you could, muscle memory is a real thing. Even if it's a couple ounces on a mini cut, even if it's not like it's gone forever, it's not like you just crapped in the bowl and flushed it away. That's not like that. So even if you lost a couple ounces, it'll come back immediately. Get the cut over with, right? The biggest trap on a mini cut or a cut in general is fuck around-itis. It really is. Fucking around every third, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day. Saturday's here, we're going to drink beer. Super Bowl's here, going to drink beer. Valentine's here, going to drink beer. You need to do a mini cut. You need to tell people, hey, I'm 30 days. I'm going deep. I got to do a cut and I'm going to be a monk and get it over with. Right. And you need to find a good time to do that. That works for your life. If you want to have fun during the Super Bowl, don't plan a cut during the Super Bowl. If you want to have fun during Valentine's Day, don't plan a cut during Valentine's Day. Does that make sense? So get in, get it over with. Get as aggressive as you can that you can sustain. And another big tip is I don't give a fuck if you're hungry. And that's what you need to tell yourself. You're not going to die. Get it over with. Joy, currently doing upper, lower, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know about adding a junk day in, sandwiched in there because you're doing an upper and then a lower. It could possibly work because you're doing an upper and then you're doing, but do you not have shoulders on your upper? I don't like upper lowers, Joy. I like upper posteriors or torso limbs, which is legs and arms on the same day. I don't like lower uppers. I don't like them at all because no one likes 2 leg days a week, and there's too much on upper days. You could probably do it. You can really do anything in programming as long as it's balanced. So you can do it, yes. You just have to do it properly. And I can't really just sit here and tell you what proper looks like because I'd have to design it myself. Does that make sense? When you're advanced, how do you track progress on weighted pull-ups? Because your reps can go down when bulking. An advanced lifter really isn't going to have a lot of progress. There's very few true advanced lifters. An advanced lifter is somebody like Alpha Destiny. So your reps really aren't going to go down that much when you're bulking, when you're an advanced lifter. They're just not. Your weight's not fluctuating that much. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds. I think the problem here is that we're looking at things from the perspective of 150, 60, 70 pound lifter who did a more aggressive bulk but advanced lifters are rare and they're going to figure things out themselves. That's generally, look, I want to say this, okay? We're building muscle. We're not chasing numbers. I want you guys to hear this because this is important. We are building muscle. We're not chasing numbers. What you focus on is training hard. If you focus on training hard, the numbers come. Okay? Even if they don't, you're training hard. If you train hard, the numbers will eventually come. If you start and you can only do 6 pull-ups and you're a noob and you train hard over 10 years and you end up at 90 pounds on your back for 6, you have progressed. Hard work will always pay off. You'll always end up much stronger than you were when you started. So hard work drives the numbers. But we do not focus on the numbers. We let them come from hard work. So an advanced lifter is no different. If there are seasons where he loses a rep, it's not permanent. And we don't care because we're not chasing one rep. Like if you have a super advanced lifter that's near natural potential, that's doing 100-pound pull-ups for 8 reps, and he drops to 7, hide the kids. Who gives a fuck, right? I mean, I'm not saying that to you, Clue. I'm just saying that in general. Who gives a fuck? Because we are not chasing numbers. We are chasing hard work. And as long as he is working hard, losing a rep here and there doesn't matter at all. Is it worth putting overhead press as a first exercise? If you have an exercise that's truly stalled, that hasn't moved in 5-6 months, then I would have to look at the program, but it's usually your diet. Look, I don't know you, Paladin, so I'm not saying this is you, but it's usually your diet or your work ethic or consistency. Or you have a super strong 200-pound overhead press where you're not going to get a lot of rep additions. But there are no plateaus at intermediate level. They're not there. If there's a plateau at an intermediate or beginner to intermediate level, it's your diet or your work ethic or your expectations. Somebody's going to get all pissy about that, but that's the truth. Adding a rep, like if you bench 225 for 7, adding a rep once a month, that's going to add 5 pounds to your bench press. That's not a stall. Okay. That's good progression. So most times people aren't stalled. They just don't understand proper rate of progression, or their nutrition sucks or their work ethic sucks. So it's a hard question to answer. I've been following your advice on calf training for 2 years, but they've only grown a 1/4 inch. Meanwhile, my whole body, I would have to look at how much stronger are they now than where they were 2 years ago. Are they a lot stronger? If not, progression's lacking. But I would have to look at the program. Is your weight going up? So if your quads have grown 4 inches, look, a 1/2 inch is nothing to sneeze at. But I want to know if you're training your calves like as hard as you're training your chest. Is progression going up a lot? Steel Rat, how's it going? Yvonne, morning, Team Massive. Morning, Yvonne. Thanks for being part of Team Massive. If taller people can only gain a few more pounds of muscle naturally, then does this mean taller bodybuilders will never look? Most of the best bodybuilders are shorter guys. They just look better from a muscle belly standpoint and a layout. But mass is mass. You're always going to look good. I'm not being dismissive, but I don't like hypotheticals because there's such a wide variety of cases. Taller people, taller people can gain the same amount of muscle as shorter people. Same. It doesn't matter if you're short or tall. You can gain the same amount of muscle. It's not hinged on height. So I want to backtrack and insert that in there. It's not hinged on height. Taller people don't gain less muscle. They have the potential to gain the same muscle. Steve, what's going on, Steve K? Thanks for joining in. Assuming that sleep nutrition is equal or good, how much of a difference in gains over short and long? Here we are. We're trying to split hairs over short and long term. If someone lives a low stress versus no one, look, here's the problem. This is a hypothetical, and no one lives constantly in a low stress, moderate stress, or high stress lifestyle. It's a hypothetical. If you're training hard, and your sleep is good and your nutrition is good, you're going to grow. You're going to grow. And there are going to be seasons of low stress, high stress, moderate stress for everybody. We have to look at the long run, the big picture. And this hypothetical falls apart because it's not based in reality. It's based in extremes. Like, I always have low stress. There's some people that always have low stress lives. They live in a cabin by the woods and nothing, but something, high stress can exist, but it's all hypothetical stuff. Focus on what you can control and you're going to be fine. Joy. What's the best piece of advice a family member has given you? My family wasn't really like that. My mom wasn't an advice giver. My mom was a good person, but she grounded out in a laundry room her whole life, and she just did her work and came home, and my dad was never around. So no family members ever given me advice. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I was very much handicapped because my mom did her thing and no one taught me anything: how to balance a checkbook, how to study, how to screw in a light bulb, how to change oil. So no one gave me anything. So I was pretty much a piece of clueless crap out of high school. John Paul. Just for fun, would you rather have skinny neck or skinny calves? I don't want a skinny neck, dude. No way. I don't want to be a pencil neck. So, yeah. Yvonne, when you perform deadlifts, rows from blocks, what are you using to elevate the weight? You can use like rubber plates. You can use steel plates if you have, or iron plates or whatever. Mats, blocks. I have a deadlift jacks that I have from Titan. If you have a home gym, you can get deadlift blocks. Those are a wonderful thing. You can pull off the rack in your you can pull off the catch pins in your rack, but that can damage barbells, bend them. I bent them myself, so I know I was a fool. I did it. I realized the error of my ways. So at one point I built wooden blocks. I took like 2x4s and I put like an X in the middle. And then I put like plywood on top, a couple layers of plywood and a rubber mat. So there's a lot of things you can do. If you're at a commercial gym, though, it gets a little bit tricky because they're not all set up to do this kind of magic. So on some plates, you can invert them and they have a flat surface and you're able to pull. On the old school plates, a lot of the new school plates, you don't. When you talk about natural potential, you mainly discuss arm size. That's just what you see. And I'm not being confrontational, but I don't mainly talk arm size. I talk a lot about everything. I think you just happen to see the arm size discussions. At 15% body fat, what shoulders, chest, quad? I'm not a measurement guy. I don't really look at numbers of. I'm not being dismissive here, but I don't study shoulder numbers or chest numbers. Quad measurement should be about 10 inches above your leg, give or take, ish. But shoulders and chest, just not something I look at. Vinny P, what's going on, Vinny? You better be trained. I'm going to have to hunt you down. What's up? Been a long time, but finally seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. 100-hour weeks. Vinny, I'm glad you're not dead. What's a good restart percentage? 2 months off, I started at 135, Vinny. After I got sick, I started at 135 on bench. I might build up to 155, 175. If I'm at that point, I'm going to go slow and low because the connective tissue gets really weak. So just be super careful. Abram, what are you going to talk about with Dr. Mike? My interview goes live tomorrow. Check it out. Watch for it. It's going to be something you'll never forget. Dr. Mike talks a lot about sex. If lean in a t-shirt, what shall I? No idea. I don't measure chests. I'll just go for overall look. I'm not being dismissive on this stuff, but I really don't. Personally, not that you guys don't have to, not that you guys can't care. I personally don't care about chest shoulder measurements. I care about how I look and size. Arms, legs, easy to measure. Chest, shoulders, not. I don't care. And anybody that posted before this point stands a chance to win. And let me scroll through and see what we got here. What do we got here? Bob V, you were in early with a couple questions. Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman. Slide into my email, benthebarman@gmail.com. And I'll give you something for free. All right. Where do we go? Let's see your questions. All right, I'm gonna have a little drink. Can you see me growing in front of you? All right, guys, we're about 56 minutes in. I'm going to keep it rolling. If you are new here, don't be shy. Post up a question. I'm here to help. And if you need if you need a question asked and you're late to the party, you can slide in my DM on Instagram at any time and ask questions. Or consider joining Team Massive. You can go here and click the link, or you can do the $9.99 at teammassiveiron.com. Recreation. That messed me up. That word's messing me up. Reacciona, Puerto Rico. Comment for the algo. Thank you. Cute anime fan. Hello, Steve. Currently at work. Good. Nobody should work on Friday. Better to talk about lifting. 8D. On push-pull legs, is it okay to have 2 vertical, 1 horizontal press one day? Yeah, absolutely. As long as weekly volume's good, you're good. Hope you're well. Doing good. Thank you. Rocking the cut. Good morning. I hope everyone's doing good. Thanks for tuning in. If someone's testosterone is less than 1%, what is he supposed to do? Talk to your doctor. Not being dismissive, Ermic, but you need to handle that with your doctor. There's a lifting channel, and anytime you have a health concern, you either can focus on improving your sleep, stress, nutrition, exercise habits, or talk to your doctor. I think it would be great if you interviewed Coach Dan John. That would be fun. I don't know if Dan is aware of me. Dan has been, I think Dan has been, I don't know, maybe in my lane. We take things differently. We're not the same type of coach. So, but when I say we're in kind of the same lanes, we're smaller but kind of known. So that would be fun. Dr. Mike is on spring break. Looking forward to the interview. Good morning. Just checking in before the workout. Get after it, Carlton. Peter, my wife started lifting, and 6 weeks into it, she says she feels bulky. Your wife's not bulky. I'm not laughing at you, Peter. I'm laughing at kind of the silly things women do. She doesn't want to have huge arms. She ain't going to get huge arms. Men can't even get huge arms. We know she won't. How would you lead train her not to think that way? Good luck, man. When trying to lead a woman around the water, there's an old saying, trying to lead a horse to water. You trying to lead a woman to water, you need to make her think it's her idea. The reality is the best thing to do is to show her this clip. Show her a clip from somebody else. My wife trains hard. My wife is not bulky. Women cannot get bulky. Women cannot get bulky. Men can't even get bulky. Men can't. It's hard enough for men to get bulky. She needs to look at fit models. Fit models are not bulky. I pray for your soul, Peter, because it's a hard road. She needs exercise, though. You can show her this clip, and I don't know your name, but you need to do it. If you don't, you're just going to look saggy baggy. You're going to look saggy baggy. You're going to be skinny fat. You're not going to look fit. You're going to look skinny fat. You're going to look saggy baggy with bat wings and flappy bits. Rock solid. Went from 250 to 180. Nice work. I look like melted ice cream. That's what happened after my cut, so I know it. No, you need to add muscle now, man. I mean, you need to add muscle. The best thing you could do right now is watch my 10-pound bulk video from this week and spend the next 2 years gaining 10 pounds, losing 10 pounds. We need to recomp at this point because I bet I'm 5'10". 180 is a perfectly okay weight. You can go to 170 and then you can ping pong 170 to 180, 170 to 180, and do bulks cuts, or you can do 180, 190. I think 180, 190 is better for you because it's easier weight to maintain and you're going to see body composition changes. G's. Would you consider RDLs using an alternative? No. RDLs are just a different lift. RDLs will work your lower back more, but RDLs are just a different lift. If you can't do deadlifts, don't worry about it. Just pour the deadlifts or RDLs you have to consider in your overall hamstring profile. So you have to keep a weekly amount of hamstring volume, but don't worry about, if you don't like to do deadlifts, I do power shrugs and do power shrugs in their place. You can do RDLs in their place, but you still have to keep the right amount of back work and make sure your hammy work. But don't panic if you don't do deadlifts. I need to find a replacement. Not really. You just need to make sure your weekly volume is good. Maybe add in a little extra back work now that you have a few extra sets. Reese, how would you go about structuring a full body workout? Reese, you can head over here. I have tons of workouts. Check out the workout tab. And I'm not being dismissive, but if you go to the main page of my YouTube channel and you search full body, I actually have videos where I build them live on camera. So check that out. Let me see if I can find it, okay? We'll just kind of mess around here for a second. And just give me a second. I'm going to go to the old Search-A-Rooski bar. Let me share the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Where are we at? That's me. There we go. Okay. So we go to the Search-A-Rooski. We search full body. Okay. So we have a bunch of stuff on here, full body. And here's one, how I structure full body workouts. This was 8 years ago. Look at the skinny Steve after I look like a saggy bag of crap. Building a full body, minimal versus animal. You can see I got the whiteboard on that. Let's see. I think I have a building a full body live. Let's see if I have let me search building. Here we go. Building a full body live in real time. This is from 6 months ago. That's the video you want. Building a full body live in real time. Lots of good videos on this channel. And the search button, I'm not being dismissive, but if you guys ever can't find anything, there's just a wealth of information on this channel. We had a Discord server for Team Massive, but we moved it to teammassiveiron.com. Right here, teammassiveiron.com. It basically looks the same as Discord, just better. I know that obesity rates have risen, but in terms of muscle, from your observations, is the average? No, no. I don't need I don't need science to tell me this, but we become weaker, and therefore I know we have less muscle. We just have to have less muscle because I look at these. I was going to say creatures. That sounds cruel, but I just look at the state of the physique. I'm not attacking people. The state of the physique, and it's a little bit, Yeah, definitely a little bit compared to, I think the average man is less muscular. Zemp, curve. Hey, man. Hey, man. Derek, should late beginner worry about exercise? No, you don't need to rotate exercises. This is such, Derek. I'm not going after you, Derek. I'm educating you. This is such a nonsense bullshit concept. You don't need to rotate exercises. If I only rotate exercises, I can unlock the magic. No, you need to pick the core exercises and run them hard. The key driver of hypertrophy is having a good exercise selection, training hard, getting your nutrition consistent, and being patient. You don't need to re-stimulate muscles by swapping in exercises every 2 weeks. That's nonsense. It's nonsense, and it needs to die. Everybody needs to forget about it. Should a late beginner worry about it? No, never. You should flush that concept down the toilet. It's useless. Sometimes I overbulk. That's okay. It's okay. Overbulking by a couple pounds is okay. It's when you like gain 25, 30 pounds in 3 months that you need to go into the corner of shame. So that's fine. What I say in my book, Massive Bulking, and you can go over here and search bulk. It's a 54-page PDF. Is whatever you gain during your bulk, your 3, 4, 5 month period, then do a mini cut to lose. So if it's 10 you gain, lose 10. If it's 12 you gain, lose 12, etc. A couple pounds isn't going to make a difference, in cutting periods. It won't. Not over the long period of time. Is it okay to maintain and build muscle and lose weight? No. You need to shit or get off the pot, and I'm saying that in a positive way. That's a fast path to nothingville. If you try to run two directions at one time, you're just going to split yourself in half, right? Get the weight off, and then check out my videos a couple days ago about bulking 10-pound bulks. Get the fat off, get reasonably where you want to be body fat wise, and then start to do the 10-pound bulk and cut cycle, and you'll be on a path to glory. Steve, I started working out on trap isolations. Occasionally, the morning after working traps, my neck feels like it's normal. It's just stress, strain, man, tension. That's not a bad thing. You're all good, all good. I would take that as a good thing. In my teens, I was very underweight. That sounds like me. I was underweight. I remember being cross country in 9th grade. I think I weighed 142. I played a lot of sports. I doubt it. Like being underweight, unless you were starved for like 5 years, I doubt it. I'm no expert at height though. When I'm at 18%, I'd be able to continually progress in lifts. If progressing well yeah, man, Josh, you're at the point, Josh, where you're pretty solid. I don't know. I've never looked at your numbers, just at your pictures, but yeah, man. I mean, you're going to gain a little bit of weight. Do the 6 to 10-pound bulk cut. Do it, man. I mean, if you're really after mass, yes, maximize it. Don't walk a tightrope. And no problem, man. I'm a lover. I'm not even a lover. First one I've been able to catch live. Thank you for tuning in. I've usually worked during this time. Been following for about a year. Thank you. I appreciate the support, and I'm really glad to see that. When I was 16, I weighed, Alexa, how many pounds is 46 kilos?
46 kilograms is about 101 pounds.
That's pretty skinny. How much more muscle can I gain compared to a normal? Well, you gotta understand, when you're underweight not just muscle, you're underweight everything. Organ size, skin, muscle, bone, everything. So I don't know how to answer this question. You need to get up to a normal weight first and foremost, and then you can gain muscle like everybody else. I can't tell you how much muscle you can gain to normalize your body. That's nothing no one's studied to my knowledge. That's just, bringing your body back up to normal. I don't know. The truth is, if you're 120 pounds and underweight and normal at 160, normal starting point, I don't know of those 40 pounds how much is muscle. But you can see when you look at the mass of the body that, most of our mass is not muscle. So I have no idea what percentage that is. Chad Elephant Schlong. All right, Chad, go to the corner of shame. I'm not increasing bench by 5 pounds per session. Well, I hope not. If you could do that, you'd add 260 pounds of bench a year. You'd be King Elephant Schlong. Progress is slower than other compounds. How many years of training are required to get big, hairy, jiggly chesticles on average? Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Schlong, no one gains 5 pounds per session. No one. Maybe the first 2 sessions, maybe the first 4 sessions. But most guys are lucky to get to a 225-pound bench after 2, 3, 4 years. So focus on hard work, focus on consistency, and attack. Every rep you gain on your top set adds about 5 pounds to your 1 rep max. So focus on rep progressions. Hire me as a coach. Join Team Massive. Bring the Elephant Schlong into Team Massive, and we will help you. You get on Greg's radar. Get ready for some passive aggressive. Yeah, I fear. You know what? Greg comes after me. He better be ready for the wrath of motherfucking God, because I do not play drama. And I really don't give a shit. What are you going to do, natty or not on a 55-year-old fat ass, right? Who gives? No one gives a shit. He'd never do that. I'm not busting Greg's balls, but I'm just a coach. I just want to help people. I just love muscle and strength building. So what's there to come after me for? My body fat's too high. We're all a combination of good or bad things. I've never been a saint. I've made my share of mistakes. I nearly killed myself eating with binge eating. I'm imperfect, struggle through depression. But I've done a lot of good. I ran a whole year for a paralyzed boy, 12, 14 hours a week. I'm really proud of doing that. I like people. I care about people. So I don't really care. Ain't nobody can do nothing to pull me off my path, right? Because this train is on the tracks. I'm 55 and I realize I don't have that many years left. And if Greg ever saw this clip, the only thing I'd say is, Greg, you have so much potential to help people. So much potential to help people. And Greg, I'm not judging you, but I'm telling you, if you would focus your energy just on training, just on nutrition, and not on drama, the impact you would have on people's lives would be immense. You can do whatever you want with your life, Greg. You can do whatever you want with your life, and I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, and everybody gets to play their own game. And your game is your game. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. My game's been imperfect. But there are guys out there that are just pulling schlongs for dollars. You know what I'm saying? Pulling schlongs for dollars, pushing buttons for cash. Greg has some good information. And Greg, I think, Greg, you could do so much good. All right, if someone bigger than you, do they assume they're on gear? I don't know, dude. Look, I don't assume. First off, I do not care. I really don't care. That's just me. I don't care. You guys can care. I don't care. I don't really care. I've not met anybody that's bigger than me. I know they're pretty much on gear. I just know they're pretty much on gear. Because when you have spent your life building mass and somebody walks in and they're like 10 pounds bigger than you, yeah, you pretty much know. So if you get to like close to natty potential level and somebody's big, you pretty much know. But let's not be judgmental. Let's just let people be. There's too much hate in the world. What are we accomplishing, right? Yes, I know we want to. Here's the dilemma. We say we want to help people understand reasonable natural standards. So therefore the natty or not videos are okay. But when somebody like me preaches natural potential, then we get a backlash. You're limiting me. Okay. You want both sides, don't you? You want to live on both sides. It's not you, Clue, but people in general. Thoughts on the snake diet cult. I really don't give a crap if somebody fasts. I find him, just personally, I find him to be an asshole. I don't like him. He probably don't like me, so all's fair in love and war, right? I think he's abrasive. And the issue I have with fasting is that it's not the lifestyle it's not the lifestyle I'm in. It's not the best path. You want to fast a couple days a month, go ahead. No downside to that. But extended fasting, I'm not a fan. I've seen some people do it and they bounce back and they get back on their own lifestyle. The lifestyle changes everything. And fasting don't mean anything unless you're prepared to go back to a good lifestyle. Bottom line. So whatever we teach, we have to be focused on a lifestyle change for it to be sustainable. So that's all I can say. You can pull all of the tricks out of the wizard bag, but if you're not equipping people to sustain it when they're done, they're just screwed. It's just the numbers. What line should someone never cross with you? I'm a live and let live guy, but if you fuck with my space, like my land or my ear or my possessions, then I will tell you to stop. No passive aggressive. You're just going to get straight aggressive with me. I'm not going to fight, but I'm also going to tell you what I think. I live in a downtown area. Straight ahead is a big downtown street. My wife's business is down below. There's an alley right next to me, downtown alley. There's a park right next to me. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on over at the park. Meth addicts, people fixing their fucking cars in the parking lot at 2 a.m., people singing outside of the alley drunk at 1 a.m. Like, if you wreck my sleep, if you mess with my car, if you mess with my space, then I'll tell you to stop. I'll go out there and say, hey, move along, get lost, get out of here. And people usually either, like, I think we have a good sense for somebody that's not playing. Like, I don't care if you hit me. I'm not trying to start a fight. If I go out there and tell somebody to move their ass, like, hey, we had somebody out there fixing their car at 2 a.m, clang, 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 like 20 feet from my window in the parking lot. And I said, I went out there and said, what the fuck are you idiots doing? It's 2:00 in the fucking morning and you're fixing your car in a parking lot and you're keeping me and my wife up. I said, get the fuck out of here. And the guy, one of the skinny guys, stood up. He said, blah, blah. He came at me. I'm like, dude, you do not want to fucking come after me. I said, because I do not give a fuck if you hit me with that fucking wrench. Because if I don't die, I'm going to fucking keep coming after you. I'm going to go call the fucking cops because I'm not here to play. Get the fuck out of my parking lot. Right? I'm not there to fight, but you know, we need to have respect for people, and we need to have respect for people in public. People driving around blasting their fucking music, you know, shoving it in people's ears. You know, like when people boom downtown. If you're one of those people, go fuck yourself. Right? You shouldn't be doing that to people. No one wants to hear your fucking music. Right? Show some respect to other people. Don't shove your lifestyle and your crap up people's asses all the time, right? If you're in public, show some respect for other people's ears, right? Don't be cussing like an idiot, you know. Show some respect. This world needs more respect, especially in public, right? You can dress how you want. You can have all your flaming purple hair, and you can have whatever gender you fucking want. I do not give a shit what you do. But the second you disrupt somebody else's life, then you're a fucking asshole, right? That's all I'll say. And you deserve some back talk. I'm not advocating violence, but you can do whatever you want, right? That life is hard. You can smoke, eat yourself to death, drink yourself to death, do your meth, do whatever you want, right? Get tattoos, have purple hair, take on new genders, be a cat person. I don't care what you do. But the second you enter somebody else's space and disrupt them, you need a virtual slapping because you're an asshole. So people that don't respect other people, that's what I don't like. I'm a kind person. I'm a patient person. I like people, but I swear to God, if you are disrespectful to my wife, my children, my property, or my space, I'll just simply let you know. I'm not trying to be aggressive, but I will let you know. Doo-doo. Thanks, Doo-doo. Are there any health consequences of being underweight? We have seen studies, and this is an interesting discussion. There were studies, mortality statistics, and these can be tainted. There are things that can cause underweight individuals, so we need to understand that. But when we look at current classifications of underweight, normal weight, slightly overweight, and obese, okay, and I believe those are how the classifications go. I think we actually found that slightly overweight individuals lived longer than normal weight individuals. So we're not talking about obese individuals, okay, because there's overweight, slightly overweight, and then there's normal, slightly overweight, obese, morbidly obese, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So it made sense to me that the slightly overweight, those carrying 10 to 12 more pounds than the normal individuals, might be set up better for longevity, because in nature, if we're a little bit above the needle, right, like we have enough nutrients, we have enough resources, just a little bit above the needle, you would assume that we would be a little bit, like there would be a little bit less stress on the body overall, cumulative stress. Like in nature, an animal that doesn't have enough food is going to be a little bit more stress. They have to sleep, they sleep less, they have to hunt more, whatever the case is, right? So I believe underweight individuals have the same health risks as overweight, not slightly overweight. Does that make sense? It's going to come down to nutrients, nutrient deficiency, nutrient intake. Yo, Craig, have a great weekend. You too. What would you use as a progression indicator on Bulldozer 5? A Bulldozer is a 5 set, and you can do 4 if you want. You can do 6 if you want. Rest pause system, where you use the same weight, and you do a set for max safe reps, and you rest about 15 seconds, give or take. And then you repeat that 4 more times. So usually when you get to 12, 13, 14, 15 reps, depending on the lift, you want to add weight. You probably never want that top set to go below 12, if that makes sense. Clue. The downside of science-based fitness influencers is that they flip-flop. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against science, but science is not the holy grail. I've said this last week. If you get 100 guys that have experience, they're going to know light years more than if you turn them into scientists, they'd be able to perform better studies. This is no disrespect to science, but if you took 100 scientists, how many of them have the personal knowledge of a bald Omni-Man, me, Jeffrey Verity, Schofield, Alpha Destiny? So I think the defect in science is that there's not enough scientists that have walked the miles. Does that make sense? Big Bob Ship. What's the best leg workout? There is no best leg workout, Bob. But if you have bad knees, you're going to have to find lifts. I have bad knees right now. I need knee surgery on my right knee. I can do leg extensions. You're going to need to find lifts you can do. And I wish I could answer that for you, Bob, but I can't, because every condition is going to be different. Like if you took 100 guys with knee issues, and I'm one of them right now, every one of them is going to be different. Some will be able to squat, some won't be able to squat. I can do leg extensions. I can do leverage squats. Okay. So if you can't go heavy, but you can do hacks, do volume of hacks. If you can't go heavy, but you can do leg press, do volume of leg press. Do what you can to stay as strong as you can. That's all I can really say. So test the waters, do it super light, progress moderately, and see what happens. I have an intermediate level physique, but for some strange reason, my strength standards are still novice. Sometimes people can get fuscular, and I don't know you, Liam, so I'm not saying this is the case. But like there was a study on sumo wrestlers that showed that they didn't just gain fat, they gained fat and muscle. So some of us can gain muscle and still not have an engine really driving it. But Liam, I'd need to look at the numbers and see if you're being hard on yourself. Mel Will 26, 38-year-old joints all seem to start hurting. First thing I'm going to look at, Mel, is your diet. Inflammation is a big thing. And inflammation is often triggered, not often, by crappy food choices. Okay. Are you eating mostly animal and plant-based? If not, you need to eat mostly animal and plant-based. Reduce that inflammation in your joints. If you are, if you're serious about improving your joint health, you want to reduce that inflammation. That's the first place to start. I don't know if you're overweight, Mel, but that puts extra stress on your joints, your hips, your knees, your ankles. Even being a little bit overweight does. I believe something like every pound of body weight puts 10 more pounds of stress on the joints with each step, something like that. That could be completely wrong. I need to know more information, Mel. Is it possible? Yeah, you can send squat videos on Instagram. YouTube unlisted is a good way to send them. You can send them my email, benthebarman@gmail.com. They just can't be shaky camera. It has to be static camera. Or just join Team Massive. TeamMassiveIron.com. Join. You get 4 form checks a week. I felt Schoenfeld's study on partial stretch shortened on the preacher curl was not. No, I've not seen it. And the thing is, like, the last 2 or 3 times I've looked at studies, there were big holes in the study. I don't need. Look, Josh. We don't even need to see this. We don't need to see it because none of this shit's gonna matter. It's not. It's not gonna matter at all. It's not gonna matter one fucking bit. You take 3-4 bicep exercises, a good reasonable diversity, you get a lot stronger, you get your back a lot stronger, you train consistently over 5 years. The science can go fuck itself. We know how to get there, right? We should be more interested in practical application than theoretical wizardry. This is like, we need to focus more as a community on practical application rather than studying the short and stretched lengths of the preacher curl. I mean, seriously, we need to educate people on practical application. That's just my opinion. You can do all the science you want, but I don't think this is good science. I don't think this is a good way to use dollars. If you're going to do a science on muscle building, let's compare. Let's do some major studies, right? Some studies that are really substantial in nature. Bigger, the preacher curl and stretcher. I have no words. How to rehab an old hamstring injury. No idea. Jordan, I don't want to, I'm just a lifter. I don't know the injury. I don't know the nature of the injury. I don't know the limitations. Flying blind, my friend. When girls say bodybuilders aren't attractive, yeah, they're probably talking about Ronnie Coleman. They are talking about guys who are tan, dehydrated. Yeah, true. No natural man. Like, if you take a natural man that looks good, like, if you take, look, it's just human nature. I'm not just saying men. You take a man that looks good, you take a woman that looks good, fit, in shape, healthy, looks like they take care of themselves. Yeah, 20% of people, it wouldn't be their thing, whatever the percentage is. But you take Mr. Dad Bod versus Mr. Hot Bod, and you line them up in the front lawn, and you tell men, women, whatever your thing is, because we do not care. It's 2023, right? You tell them to line up, and we're not interested in percentages, but the amount of people passionate about hot bod versus dad bod, the amount of people that are passionate are going to be much higher. Look, when I was a 346-pound fat ass with a big beard, do you think I had people lining up? No. I might as well have been dead. That's just the reality. I'm not passing societal judgment. I'm just telling you the way it was. And then I lost weight, and I looked like this dude. And I didn't try to look like this dude, right? But it was completely different. This is going to sound arrogant as fuck. But this is a reality, and you can take my story any way you want. But like the old 346-pound guy with the beard, when I walked around the grocery store, like, no one noticed me. But when that dude walked around the grocery store or in the gas station, like, guys would be like, man, you look like a pro wrestler. I would get that multiple times a week. You get attention from guys and girls. I'd walk around the corner in a grocery store looking like that, and I'd have Granny smile like Santa Claus just walked in the room. It's not like they're like, it's not like they're trying to get on me or anything. But I think when, people are used to seeing that, right? And it stirs things in people when they see a man or woman that's in a good condition. Like, it's different. Like Ronnie Coleman walking around, people would be like, that's more like a freak show. No disrespect, but it's a freak show. Ahmad started a cut on January first week. I'm about 25%, 200. Started a cut in January. Okay. I would, at 5'10", 200, I'd probably go at least 185 and then reassess. When you're ripped and take your shirt off at the beach, people assume you can fight even if you've never been in a fight. Well, I would assume if I see somebody looking ripped, that they're in pretty good shape. The fighting thing, it's going to depend on the individual. But like if you see some schmuck wandering around town looking half drunk, I don't know. It depends on the individual, right? Nature versus nurture, which is more successful in life. Highly individual. Like no one nurtured me. Like I had no dad to tell me anything. No, he wasn't around. My mom never told me anything. I was basically just a wandering lone wolf trying to figure out life. And I think I got lucky. Something inside of me, my nature just would not accept weakness. Like I didn't want to waste my life. I don't know if that's genetics. I don't know if it's a reaction to what I was, raised in. I don't know. Complex. Most people are not living their dreams because they're living their fears. Yeah, they're afraid. Like at some point you got to believe in your own resiliency, right? Good morning, Team Massive. 37 likes. If you guys could like this video, I'd appreciate it greatly. YouTube doesn't like live videos, so anything we can help to fight the algorithm. This week I passed out in the gym after doing 3 sets of deads. I have friends that have passed out on the deadlift. It's the body's reaction to like your high blood pressure is ramping up or something's going on, a really high stress. So yeah, I've seen it. It happens. It's rare. Is it a reason to not exercise? No. If it happens more than once, I'd probably not do the deadlift. I'd probably just do some other lifts. Pui. Sorry, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. There's too many vowels. Even Y is a semi-vowel. So Poiui. Sorry, just having a little fun. I think that if lifters followed David Goggins religiously, that they would probably overtrain. I don't know how he trains on a day-to-day basis. I think if you train the way they think he trains, I don't know, maybe he trains extreme. I do know that training extreme can be a good tool in the short run, but you can't run hot forever, right? It'll get you. My excuses are like this. Sorry, I'm late for work. I was at the gym. Righto. Fat Chick in a Barn. How you doing? Good morning. She's a client of mine. Please follow her YouTube channel if you do not mind. Charles, Arnold's press has greater range of motion. Benjamin, would you recommend working out with stomach problems? Nah, no, I wouldn't. I would not. When something like that, man, I'd just chill. I'd Netflix binge and wait for things to get up to speed. Because you're probably not going to be able to eat. You're not getting in your carbs. You're not getting in your electrolytes. You're probably not getting in your water. Too many possible negatives. One regret I have is I thought you'd have to make lifting your whole life in order. Nah, exactly. I realized that over 5 years, you'll be in the same place. Yeah, I have some 6 times a week guys, and I love them, and they're making good progress. But at some point, it's got to be 5. It's got to be 4. The best thing I can tell you guys is if you're consistent 3-4 days a week is fine. Just stay in that lane. You know, you it doesn't have to consume you. It's not that complicated. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. You train like 5 hours a week. You get in enough protein, consistent calories. How hard is it to get in enough calories, right? In this day and age, it would probably take 1 to 2 years longer. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think if you're running hot, training hard, and nutrition is nailed, it's not going to take you any longer. Most people never get there. That's the reality. Most people never even get close. That's the reality. So you're going to be doing it anyway. What does it matter if it takes you 4 to 5 years or 5 to 6 years? I would say maybe a year different. But most people never get there anyway. Chris, if I increase the rep ranges, does that count as increasing volume? In the short run, yeah, overall training volume. But that's just a small blip. You know, that's just a blip that's going to change or challenge the body for a couple weeks. Then it's going to adapt, and then you have to get back to progression in other ways. Fast tagged you. Yep, I got my list all ready to go. And this weekend, I'm going to make my 10 exercises videos. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to tag 3 people. I'm going to tag James Tinyvest. I'm going to tag Sean Nalawani. And I'm going to tag Greg Doucette. For no reason other than it would be nice to spread this to some bigger fish in the pond. And when I do so, I'm going to ask you guys to pressure them. You know, just not obnoxiously so, but to comment. Let them know everybody's doing it and tell them you want that I tagged them and you want to see them do it. Big boy Raj, sir, I've got flat feet and I've been experiencing some hip pain during squats. First thing I'd want to do is look at form. The first thing you want to do is see if you can fix form. Form can cure most of what ails you. If it does not, then we have to consider whether we should continue using the lift. Because if you're using a lift that's going to beat you up, the question is, do we continue to do so? Don't squat 3 times a week. You should not be squatting 3 times a week. That's a bigger issue. That's no benefit, man. Use one of my programs. Squat once a week. Don't do 3 times a week. Don't do it. You want a muscle build, get out of that minimalism, 5x5, multiple squat. There's so much energy. If you want to build muscle, I'm saying this politely, man, there's a better way, and I'd love to help you get there. How many weekly sets for novices? Weekly sets, I have a video where I talk about weekly volume. Generally, it's about 72 hard sets per week is the starting point. I'm not saying that's where it's got to be for everybody, but it's a good starting point. And I go over this in the video, 72 hard sets per week. Basically, quick and dumb, you have chest, back, shoulders, and quads, about 12 sets each. That's 48. Hammy 6, that's about 54. Biceps 6, that's about 60. Triceps 6 to 9, that's about 66 to 69. And then you can toss in trapezoids, abs, calves, whatever you want. You're around 72 hard sets a week. So from there, you want to build it out. Novices, maybe a rank beginner might want to start a little bit less, 48 to 60. Build up some more capacity, for the first 4 to 6 months. And then if you're training 5 days a week, you might be able to do a little bit more than that. My dorsiflexion, I'm so poor. When I was young, we couldn't even afford a dorsiflexion. It's pretty bad, which is preventing me from really getting much out of squats. I would have to see it, man. I mean, squats is all about technique. Like theory, piecing together, dorsiflexion, and all this kind of stuff. Like, the problem with this is that people compartmentalize an issue when in reality, usually their squat form needs a lot of work outside of maybe one issue. So I can almost guarantee when I look at your squat, I'll be able to find 3 or 4 things you can fix that'll make it feel a lot better. Come join Team Massive Iron, teammassiveiron.com, or you can go over there, click the Team Massive link. Good barbell curl string standard for 3 sets of 10. I don't know, man. I mean, I think if you get to 95 pounds for 3 sets of 10, you're doing pretty good. Dumbbell curls, not a lot of guys get to 50s, 55s. Big Bill. It's 3 sets of 135 and then following up. Yeah, man. I mean, squat form, Bill, we want to work on your squat form. Bill's on Team Massive, and I've been trying to help him with the squat form. And Bill has the most common problem, which is knees in, knees in squatting. And when you push your knees in, you're taking your glutes out of it. When you push your knees out, you can feel your glutes. We have to learn to naturally allow our knees to open as we descend. And some of this is just a complete rewiring. Harut, what's going on, Harut? Pros and cons of BTN. If you're a big old hunk of cheese, it can be harder to get your arms back that far. If you have a lot of mass or if you have a lot of fat or you're older and have less mobility, it can be harder to get the bar back in that position. So the BTN is probably a better choice for normalish weight under 40 lifters, to generalize. So wouldn't you get less reps? Harut, I did a 315-pound seated front press. At the same time, I did a 315-pound seated rear press. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. Now, everybody is going to have, not everybody's going to be built like me. The same strengths, the same leverages, but there's no reason for them not to be in the same ballpark. Rico, your time in the military, what did you like and dislike about it? I was in the military in the Army from 91 to 94 at a time when they were trying to transition a lot of people out. They were paying people to get out of the military. And then too many got out, and then they were paying people to get in the military. I was in unit supply, and at the time I was in, there was a lot of old, crappy equipment. Guns wouldn't fire, protective masks, we didn't have replacement parts. Back then, the military was in the Army was in a world of hurt. And you can blame that on our leadership. I don't even know what political party caused it. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just telling you the way it was. In unit supply, it costs I had to get toilet paper for the crew for a box of 40 rolls. It costs $60. I could not keep toilet paper for my platoon. It was a sad state of affairs. I didn't like that at all. What I liked about it was I think everybody needs to run in that kind of discipline. No one gives a fuck about your excuses in the military. Either you're there or you're not, right? And I think everybody needs to experience that. One of the best things I got to experience in the military was after I got out of AIT, I got to join an AIT unit. So I was a supply sergeant in an AIT unit. AIT is job training, and basically for the first half, you're overseen by drill sergeants. And I was a peer. My peers were drill sergeants. I got to work with them. They were my friends. And they let me have my own broke dick platoon, the holdovers, the people that were waiting on injuries or whatever. So I had my own platoon to manage. They gave me my own platoon to manage because they were trying to train me as a leader. And they used to let me run PT, and they used to let me do road marches, and they used to let me function as a de facto drill sergeant. I'm not saying I was a drill sergeant, but they let me do all the things they would do. Run platoon, lead runs, call cadence, have my own platoon. So not only did I learn discipline, but I got to live in a world for a couple of years where I acted almost like a drill sergeant. So I got to learn from them. And I got to learn about leadership and people. And man, the best thing I love is that there are no fucking excuses. Soldier, get your ass into place and do your shit. And I do not give a fuck if your toenail hurts. Right? And I think all of us need to hear that at some point. Big boy Raj. I think there's no real, I mean, the only thing you can really do is hack squats, leg press, leverage squats, something in that nature. Something big and beefy. On push-pull legs, is it okay to have 2 vertical, 1 horizontal? Yep, we covered this already. Absolutely. 3 days a week, full body, okay for long-term bulking? Yeah, absolutely. Would you eat? No. No, eat the same on rest days. Your body is recovering 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Eat the same. Don't overcomplicate this stuff. We're not getting fat. 10-pound bulk over 3, 4, 5 months. Eat the same on rest days. I'd rather just keep it the same. Your body is repairing and recovering 24 hours a day just because you're not in the gym. So don't overthink it. I started in the gym October 2022. I've been doing incline dumbbell curl, barbell curl. Yesterday, it was the first time doing negative pull-ups. I don't like negative pull-ups. I know some of the influencers and coaches don't do negative pull-ups. It's going to end up torching your bicep. I don't think it's a good variation. I don't. If you're going to do work on pull-ups, do banded pull-ups. You want to control them down, but you don't want to force a long negative. Because the thing is, like, when we're stopping a pull-up, you can either push up at the elbow to stop, or you can hold you're resisting it with the bicep. It's hard to detach those two. To only move it with the only hold it back with the elbow, not the bicep. Dennis from Team Massive, dips as a first exercise. That's a lot of dips, man. Good job, especially at that body weight. After barbell bench and incline dumbbell, dips as a third exercise. That's fine. Yeah, 100%. We're not chasing numbers, man. Yeah, 100%. Like we don't want to like some exercises are all going to struggle, but it's not about the numbers. It's about the overall impact. Like if you do bench third, I did close grips 4th in my workout and they were weak compared to my bench. That's okay because we're not chasing numbers. We're chasing progress. You still have really good dips. What is your advice on starting with Team Massive Iron? What's the starting? Team Massive Iron, there is a chat area. You guys want to take a peek at Team Massive? Okay, let me find it here. Okay. Let me see if I can share the screen. Okay, so this is inside Team Massive. All right, this is the locker room, right? So you have all these different groups over here on the left. Okay? And you have the locker room, which has a feed. It's just like we gather and we do stupid shit. People posting polls, people posting memes, welcoming new members. And then we have chat, just general chat like Discord, where I'll post, hey, I'm live and so are you. So we have that. And then we have different areas, groups, general. We have random where I post my random content. Like I posted this soft hips from Instagram, just my information, my memes, my content, my videos, everything. Every day we have a topic of the day. So I would start by getting involved, watching for the topic of the day. That's an old one. This one is, today I posted, what's your typical post-workout snack or meal? We always have a topic of the day. We have a Massive Iron art. This is where all my articles are. Just a huge, huge resource of information. All my podcasts are in here. All my workouts are in here. We also have lifting logs. So people keep their lifting logs. and people, this is a good place. Start a thread and start your lifting logs. We have some chat in the bulking, cutting, and weight loss support group. You can go into the chat area, chat. We have muscle and strength chat. That's, head over to one of those. We have massive running. Ask BHUD. You can post me questions or ask me questions every single day. You can either ask that as a thread, or you can go over to the chat area. And we have strength leaderboards. So members can submit videos, and we actually have a strength leaderboard where by weight class and by lift, we see who's the strongest in Team Massive. We have a challenge. Get involved with the challenges. February challenges. We have an ab wheel rollout challenge. We have a workout challenge, power muscle burn. I'm doing that. We have a kettlebell swing challenge. Get involved with the challenges. You can post a body composition analysis. Each day we have something different going on. We have Monday motivation. Check these every single day. We have Tuesday dinner table. We have Wednesday workout talk. Thursday form checks. Flex Friday. Saturday struggle. We have a lot going on. So just poke around and get involved with the locker room stuff. Maybe start a training log. Get involved. Look for the chat areas and get involved with the chat. Meet some people. Start a training log. Injured my shoulder in the gym and took a week off. Got back to the gym and couldn't push the same weight. The only thing I could say is do what you can, man. Do what you can. Don't get upset that you can't push the same weight. Just do what you can. Let it come back to you, and that's the best way to approach it. Discipline, forbear. Can you come into bodybuilding intermediate even if you've never technically trained for hypertrophy? If you have enough muscle, you can do whatever you want in bodybuilding. I mean, if you've lifted but never technically trained for hypertrophy. Natural bodybuilding novices, depending on where you're at, there's a chance you might be okay. Who do you think the next rule change should be in powerlifting? What aggravates me in powerlifting? Depth on squats is so inconsistent. I think it's the biggest issue. I think we're at a place technologically where machines can analyze what point is here, what point is there on the knee, and can analyze depth. I think we need to have a machine that can, a judge, like maybe not the only judge, but a third judge that can eyeball these things. I'm sure it'll come with all sorts of issues, whether you do that or whatever. Squat depth. If this isn't too much of a follow-up, how does that affect how you train squats? You train everything the same. You're going to have to train everything the same no matter where you come from, no matter where you're at. And everything will evolve from that point. Rico, power shrugs with trap bar behind the back barbell machine shrugs. Trust me, save your nuts. Yeah. Behind the back shrugs, I like. They're not for everybody, but they're a fun little variation. Clue. When I said I thought people are gaining muscle over the decades, I thought it was because of gym culture. No, more people. You see more people online, but no, I'd say less people. MCM, beginning lifter. If I don't feel a muscle, no. On compounds, you don't want to worry about feeling a muscle. You want to worry about form and trust that muscle is working what it's supposed to work, because it is. And on isolation, you want to work more on feel. I've been stuck at 225 at 6'3". Yeah, I mean, stuck is a choice, and I'm not being hard, but you need to get precise. You need to track your calories. You need to find a way to get those 10-pound bulks. Watch my 10-pound bulk video from earlier in the week. GK. Hi from Greece. I love your mass program. Thank you. The volume is considered lower than what I'm used to. If I was to add one, yeah, you can add that. You can go up to 3 sets. Absolutely. You can build into it. Absolutely. No issues with that at all, as long as you have a progression approach and you're handling the volume well. If you stall in isolation, should you swap it out? Not necessarily. Isolations have limited runs depending on the lift. So we have to understand the game we're playing. And we either need to swap it out for a lift that has a more potential for progressive overload, or we just need to understand if it's like dumbbell laterals, we're not going to get that much stronger. So some lifts might just enter a maintenance stage at some point. Bill, you are so much better than Greg. He is a fool. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Chewbacca. How long did it take you to get your legs so huge? Probably about 3 years. I was big into squats. My role model when I was a kid was Tom Platz. I started lifting in 86, man. My legs were so big in 89. This is a true story. My youngest sister used to think I was gross. Paladin, what happened to Dungeons and Dumbbells? Derek is on Team Massive every now and then. And he's got a really good TikTok and a really good YouTube, so check him out. Is it okay to leave one plate on the leg press machine when you leave? Who presses less than one? That's a good question. I don't know. That's a very good question. I might use this as a poll. I think I'm going to post this as a poll when I'm done on the community and maybe on Instagram. We'll see what people feel. That's a good question. Mark, I've lost my Team Massive on Discord. Mark, I spent 2 months sharing the link with people, telling them we'd be moving. I'm not being hard on you, Mark. You got to email me. But every single day I was telling people to join, and I messaged everyone. I at everyone like for 2 months. So, Mark, I love you, but if you missed it, you were not paying attention. Aberrant, some kids on ham curls and leg extension machines. Mark, just email me or on Instagram or regular email. I'll get you hooked up. Some kids on ham curls and leg extensions were letting the weight slam. No control on eccentrics. Pretty stupid. What do you do in this situation? None of my fucking business. Not being short with you, Aberrant. Not my pay grade. I don't care. I mean, I might say something to them, but if they're under 18, I'm not going to say anything to them. You know, if they're over 18, I'm going to say, hey, fuck face. Treat the equipment better. If they talk shit to me, I'll go get staff. And I might just say it like that, hey, fuck face. Usually the second time it evolve in a hey, fuck face. The first time it's like, hey, guys, show some respect for the equipment. All right, Felix. Happy Friday. Thank you, Felix. More people need to get punched in the face. Yeah, no respect anymore. Amen to that. I've injured, and more men need to be able to stand up for what's right. I'm not talking about violence, but more men need to be able to say, that's not right. You need to stop doing that. I injured my lower back at work. Doctor says it's from overuse. Could be. Rehab's not my area, man. I mean, I don't get involved in rehab. You just need to do what you can do and go slowly. That's my best advice. Wisdom tooth removal. Sorry. That's not fun at all. Alexa, how many pounds is 87.5 kilos?
87.5 kilograms is about 193 pounds.
Liam, that's not novice strength. You're benching 193 for forearm bench. That's early intermediate. That's not even beginner. Novice is a step lower than beginner. You're stronger than you think. You're definitely not even close to novice. As a novice, my bench was 95 by 3. Alexa, how many kilos is 95 pounds?
95 pounds is about 43.1 kilograms.
Liam, as a novice, my bench was 43 kilos for those reps. What do you think about the Russian descending pyramid approach? don't know. Send it to me. I'll take a look. I don't know. There's so many different things out there. I want to make sure I'm on the same sheet of music. So send it to me. Anything works as long as it's not going to kill you. A lot of the Russian stuff and the Bulgarian stuff was meat grinder stuff. Looks great on paper if you survive it. What's your favorite way to cook eggs? I usually just pour them into a nonstick pan and stir them. My nonstick pan, I don't even need oil or butter. And I just toss them right in rice. How to strengthen the lower back? Patience, number one. Get your form right on deads and squats, number two. Don't overwork it, number three. And maybe a few back extensions. Who do you currently watch on the YouTubes? I check Jeffrey Verity Schofield. I check Faz. I check James Tiny Vest. I check Basement Bodybuilding, Stand Strength, Bald Omni-Man, all the usual crew. I also check Greg Doucette and Ryan Humison once a week to see what kind of shenanigans and Athlete X, see what kind of shenanigans they're up to. Who's your favorite character? One male, one female. Wow, it's a tough one. The tall female, is she a knight? She's not a knight. What's her name? The tall female guard knight, whatever. I don't think she's a knight. That's transporting the Kingslayer in season 3. She's a fun character. I love the dynamic between her and the Kingslayer. Just fun. Just fun scenes, right? Favorite male character? That's a hard one. There's a lot of good characters. Favorite male character. Who do I really look forward to? Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure I know his name. It's definitely Peter Dinklage. Or is that how you pronounce his name? Dinklage? Yeah, the small person. Definitely love him more than anything. You know, he's my favorite male. What's up, Troy? Just lurking. Thank you for tuning in. What would you say to someone who says alternating threes and 10 minutes slows down progress? Nothing like that ever inherently slows down progress. That's just made up stuff. Like no one can say using two different approach. Concurrent periodization. Okay, here's the thing. Concurrent periodization or using two different methods at the same time is probably the most scientifically sound method of progression or periodization. It's the simplest. It's scientifically sound, and concurrent periodization is super smart. So if someone doesn't understand, this is not going to be for everybody, right? It's not for everybody. Some people just don't like it, and if they don't like it, we need to move it out. But not everybody likes concurrent periodization. Some people like doing the same thing every week. I do. But concurrent periodization is actually very scientifically sound. It's probably the most scientifically sound, super dumbed down form of progression there is, or periodization there is. Listen to this, 7-minute abs. That's all. 7 minutes? Is that a new video, or is that an old video? Is it acceptable to give unsolicited gym advice? No. I don't, not my problem. You slamming weights, I might say, hey, ass fuck. Could you not be a dick in the fucking weight room? Like no one wants to hear you act like a fucking asshole. But if somebody is killing themselves, look, I'm going to be honest. If that were the case, I'd be talking to 90% of the people in the gym. Keep your nose out of people, keep your beak out of people's, business. That's my best advice. Full Metal Jacket, similar to real life. My dad served 2 tours in Vietnam, and I will tell you, when I was in the military, drill sergeants did not play. Right? There was no playing. There was no wokeness. There was no bullshit. There was no playing. And compared to when my dad was in, it was even worse. My dad said was he was in basic training. They put a soldier in a wall locker on the second floor and tossed him out the second floor window. So I'm not speaking from personal experience, but from the stories my dad said, in the late 80s, early 90s, drills weren't playing. But I imagine 20 years earlier when they're shipping them off to Vietnam, they were playing even less. I would say so. Are there any lifts you'll never perform again? Probably front squats. I don't really care for front squats. There was so much hype over them, hitting the quads, but over time and seeing, they tend to stress the mid, lower back. They tend to be hard for people to keep into position. We tend to do this, and the more you do this, the more it tends to throw your body forward, stress the mid and lower back. Not a fan personally of front squats. I don't program them unless somebody wants them in. That would be at the top of my list. Your Sean versus Greg video is very good, and neither mentioned about how you need exercise and diet both to work forever. I just wanted, thank you, I appreciate that. All I wanted to do with that video was say all these paper debates are meaningless because people, need lifestyle change. And if they don't have lifestyle change, it's not like just do cardio, just do weights. Like that's not how it works in the real world. Greg's video was so disconnected from the way it works in the real world. And that's the problem when you have mouths and when you have coaches, okay? And I'm just saying you guys need to understand the difference. A mouth will talk a lot of theory. A coach is able to see the bullshit of theory because he deals with it every day. You know how many client messages I get per week? 2,000 client messages. When I get off doing this live, I'm going to work till 9 o'clock tonight doing 500 client messages and over 75 form videos every day. I'm not patting myself on the back, but everything I believe, everything I program, everything I know is forged in the fire, right? I'm not making shit up to make a fucking video. So, when we start talking about calories or weight training being more important, I'll tell you, I don't even want to deal with a morbidly obese client that does not exercise because their chance, if they come to me like, you got to exercise. If you don't exercise, I'm done. I'm not going to work with you. Because if they do not exercise, their chance of success is zero of it lasting. I've had a couple guys lose weight without exercise. I had one guy lose over 100 pounds, and you know what happened when he left? He gained 200 back because they do not see the value of exercise, and they're always slip back in their old lifestyle habits. Should you deadlift with no wraps? I never deadlift with wraps or straps. No, don't. You know what? Look, use Versagrips, use straps. Let's not get elbow tendonitis. Forget grip. Elbow tendonitis is going to kill you guys. You need to use it. What do you think of Mike Menza? I never heard of him. No disrespect, man. That's silly. That's all I'll say. Silly. Use convention. That's not enough weekly volume. I don't know who he is. And somebody might pass along this clip and he might say I'm an idiot, and that's fair. But I stand by it. That's silly. Don't do it. Use convention. 99.999% of anybody that has appreciable amount of muscle mass is not training every 4 days. It's not enough volume. It's not enough stimulation. Why would you? I don't like to seek minimums bullshit. Forget that crap. Do we actually like the lift, or are we just making up crap for the internet? Mike, I don't know you. I'm not trying to bash on you, but that concept is stupid. Not you, Mike. I'm not saying you're stupid. That concept is stupid. Functional movement guys versus science guys. Who is more annoying? Functional movement. Functional movement. Yeah. Functional movement. Oh, crock of shit. Functional movement patterns. Getting strong is functional. Improving your conditioning is functional. I mean, if you have a very specific goal, like to improve your vertical leap, then certain lifts aimed at that are going to be beneficial. But this functional stuff is like a clown circus. What is the most amount of time you should rest? There's no most. Just keep it natural. Don't try to make rules. Every day you're going to feel different. Between every set, you're going to feel different. Rest until you feel physically and mentally ready to go again. All right. At my local gym, most people leave 2 plates on each side of the leg press. Yeah, I think some of it's going to depend on the leg press itself. But I know, like, some of them are really heavy sleds. And, like Power Station Gym in Ohio, where I used to train, the sled is super heavy. So even leaving a 25 on there is a lot. Guys, I got about 10 left. So if you have any questions, get them in now. Not sure if Quinn went up earlier. Why do I feel perfectly fine when I cut to 7%, but others like AD don't feel good? I'd like to see, Clue, what your body fat percentage is, because 7's hard to get to. And I'm not saying you're not there, but I haven't seen many lifters in my life that are 7%. That's super lean bodybuilding stage ripped. 2-pack straight 8-ball. And I said that I ripped it off pretty fast, huh? I'm running a hard gainer program. If I can only do 8 pull-ups in the first set. Can you do assisted band pull-ups where you're at? That would be a good choice rather than machined. Maybe do a block set. A block set is like 2 minutes. You got a 2-minute block. Okay. Just try to do as many pull-ups as you can in 2 minutes. Doesn't matter how often you jump down. Doesn't matter how often you rest. See if you can do like 12 in 2 minutes. Don't do sets. Just do 1 2-minute block. Maybe you can do 13 in 2 minutes next time. I would try that. How long to rest when doing rest pause? Generally about 15 seconds. 10 to 15 is kind of the sweet range. But if it's a block set, I rest until I'm ready to knock out a few reps again, then I go back after it. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? Absolutely, man. It's a great tool. It's a great tool. It's not magic, but it is a great tool, especially for folks that are struggling to lose weight. You'll feel better during the day. If you're going to lift in the morning, though, you need to make sure, fasted or not fasted, like intermittent fasting, or you're going to eat breakfast afterwards, doesn't matter. You need to get up, have 8 to 12 ounces of water with probably some sodium in it, because sodium has it's an electrolyte, and it'll have an impact on energy. So if you're going to train in the morning, you probably want to pound water with a little bit of sodium in it straight out of the gate if you're intermittent fasting. I respect the guys who are good at jump rope, but shouldn't they take it to the cardio section? I find it annoying when people are in the weight section taking space doing stuff like burpees, jumping rope, shadow boxing. Like, I guess it's case dependent, but I don't know. Like, what's the point? It kind of feels a little bit like, look at me. So front squats are only necessary if no lift is necessary. And front squats are okay lift if they work for you. I'm saying that's a lift I will never do again. I don't like them. Doesn't work for me. Too annoying. And I find a lot of my clients, it's annoying as well. That doesn't mean it's a bad lift, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. They're a fine lift if you like them. and if they work well for you. Do you value Bulgarians as a bodybuilding with John Meadows style or any other Christmas? A lot of my clients do Bulgarians. I like to put one hand to balance personally, and I advocate that for clients. I'm for stability when it comes to lifting, especially when it comes to the knee. Not everyone does that, and that's their choice, but I think it's a good idea. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will never deadlift raw ever again. It tears up my hands. Straps will save you a lot of pain, not just from calluses, but from elbow tendonitis. Big Marvin Thomas. Does there come an age where plus ones and progressive overload should be avoided? Everyone faces the choice at some point, Marv, where they have to decide how much more is worth it. You know, I have lifts like that where I'm just holding steady. You know, where I think there's a point like if you got to, say, a 500-pound deadlift, that's pretty good. If all you ever wanted to do was 315 for 3 sets of 8 for the rest of your life, there's nothing wrong with it. It's an equivalent strength level. So once you get to the amount of mass you want, maintaining is super easy. Maintaining is really, really easy. You just got to be consistent and do something reasonable. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on quality of life and how you like to train. There are some lifts right now I temper, and some I'm really charging at. Mark, I started working as a welder. I've been a bit tired. I only have slept, eaten, and go to work. I was a machinist. I get it. Just don't skimp on your electrolytes, your potassium-based foods, potatoes, tomatoes, things like that. Get your sodium in, get your water in, get sleep as best you can, and always just focus on what you can control. Can you surgically extend, shorten your bicep tendon? I have no idea. I'm not a surgeon. I don't mean to be dismissive. No idea. Do you know who Iron Wolf is? Nope. What do you think of him? No idea. No idea who Iron Wolf is. I'm just a lifter. I like dumbbells. I like barbells. Calisthenics are fun. I don't have anything against them, but they can't replace this style of training unless you are like a ninja. All right, guys, that's it. Don't go anywhere. Hold on 1 second before you go anywhere. I appreciate you watching. A couple things real quick. Give me 2 minutes of your time before we go. Head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Please follow. I'd appreciate you following along. And please head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. I got tons of workouts. I got a bulking PDF you want to see. Team Massive membership. I got a training app. I got a creatine and a whey protein. I'm not a supplement company. These are quality products, top quality taste, the chocolate and the salted caramel whey, good products. I only make like $5 off them. I'm not bullshitting you guys. All right. So I'm not trying to be a supplement company, but if you want to support a little guy, come buy my stuff, right? Instead of theirs. I've been in the supplement industry. I was in the supplement industry for 15 years. I know for a fact my products are quality, so consider them. I also have tons of apparel, flags, even coffee mugs and all kinds of stuff. All that stuff isn't going to make me rich. It puts a couple bucks in my pocket. If you want to support me, I'd appreciate it. More than anything, please consider joining Team Massive, teammassiveiron.com. I want to build a community. I'm not trying to be an Insta-fluencer and stick my ass in your face. I just want to build a community where I can help people. So I would strongly suggest you consider a Team Massive Iron membership this year. And we got a couple more. John Doe, I've been considering coaching and just wondering if you could discuss the benefits. Yeah, real quick, coaching. I'm going to say it like this, and this is no disrespect to other people. I coach full time. After I get off this live, I'm going to be doing 500 client messages. I work till 8 o'clock every night doing client messages when I'm not doing content. I am full-time. I'm with you 5 days a week. We set up an initial time to talk. After that, we can talk at any time on the phone you want. We set up an initial plan of attack based on your needs, your equipment, your injury history. I check in 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I watch your weight. I watch your exercises. I watch your form, and I watch your workouts. I'm there every single day to make sure we're dialing, fine tuning in your weight. Calories are a little low. Let's bump them 100. Squats a little bit this, try that. Did you do this? Try that on this workout. Maybe we can add a set here. I'm with you every single day, 5 days a week. Not only that, but it's the lowest price you will find in coaching. I can do that because I coach for a living. I'm not trying to make $500 a month off everybody as a hit and run. You spend 3 months with me. There's a 3-month minimum commitment. Okay. You spend 3 months with me and you're going to get as much. I'm going to give you everything I can. Most of my clients stand a lot longer than that. The average time is 8 to 15 months. And I never really push coaching because I'm almost always full. I always have somebody dropping off for whatever reason. And I'm pretty full right now. But if you're on the fence about coaching, I don't try to sell anybody on coaching, but I guarantee I'm going to be with you 5 days a week. I don't do a weekly check-in via email, right? Like every other coach. I have my own private training app. And we evolve training, we evolve diet. We work together every single day. So you can find the coaching tab over here if you're interested. And Joy Pass, good live video. Thank you. Blaine, thank you, sir. And Danny, I'm cramping up halfway through leg workout. Would it help to drink Gatorade? It wouldn't hurt at all. You want to make sure you're getting in sodium throughout the day, a little bit through with your meals. You want to make sure you're getting in potassium-based foods. Search potassium-rich foods on Google, potatoes, tomatoes, things like that. And make sure you're hydrating properly, not overhydrating. That's the best advice I can give you. All right, guys, that's it. That's it. I appreciate you joining me. Get your ass back here next Friday and every Friday after that, because if not, you just do silly stuff like work. All right, we are out of here.
It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.
Just looking at my favorite supplement. All right. Join Team Massive, you bunch of assholes. I love you. Bye.